are you folks tonight? Me? I'm grand. Just grand. I'm Dr. Bear, and I'll be your host tonight. Do you have any appetizers? May I bring you some questions? Welcome to Robert's Philosophy Bistro. The entree for February 26, 2015, the second person. Once upon a time, a long time ago, the English language had three ways of saying you. Vous for one of you, je for two of you, and je for several of you. That is Old English. In Middle English, the second person pronoun was simplified to thou and ye. Today, in modern English, we only have you. Of course, there are regional exceptions, such as the y'all of the South, the northern you guys, youans, which is spread across the Ohio River Valley and parts of old Appalachia, its derivative yins, which is a defining characteristic of Pittsburghese, and yous, which persists in English-speaking pockets from New Jersey, Boston, and Philly, all the way to Ireland, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. It is not uncommon for languages to slur and simplify. However, in English, there are important social factors and meaning this change. How I speak to a second person is also a strong indication of how we interact. As Middle English developed a court language for the gentry, it adopted what is called the TV distinction. In several European languages, the plural second person becomes an honorific, a formal address of respect to superior. Examples include the tu, vous in French, the du, sie in German, and the tu, usted in Spanish. By contrast, the singular denoted either a lower class or a sense of intimacy. A farmer would address his lord as you and his child as thou. By contrast, the lord would address other nobility as you and the farmer, as well as his child, as thou. However, at the same time, the rising middle class began to blur the rigid class distinction and adopted using you in all interaction, in part to show they were not from the lower classes and provincial, and in part because the formal was the language of business. One says, "How are you today, sir?" as a courtesy and a sign of respect to any customer walking in the door, but one also expects that courtesy to be returned. Similarly, everybody became master or mister and mistress or Mrs. What was gained by this change to you was an equality of address, but a formal equality. What was lost was the familiarity and intimacy of thouings. It has its few remnants, but for the most part it sounds archaic. Emily Dickinson's wild nights, where I with thee, wild nights should be our luxury. It sounds sweetly archaic, like an ancient ode. It doesn't sound like wild nights. The Quakers became known for always use familial thou to demonstrate their belief in universal brotherhood, as well as their unwillingness to participate in inequality. In a way, it seems odd that the leveling of English chose the genteel formal instead of the Quakers' familiarity. Then again, maybe it says something about us, that we don't miss the familiar pronoun. The informal formality of the second person might be an accurate indication of who we are and how we interact. We can be friendly while keeping a distance, casual without being intimate. That is who we have become. We have acquired the easy manners of a salesperson, showing respect and being friendly, but at the same time easily disposing of the conversation and forgetting about it as it passes. We laugh at the second person's joke in an open, friendly way, all the while thinking of something else. We can get personal without recognizing person, as well as nice and sweet without bothering to be genuine. Of course, we are not slaves to the laws of language. Even if we are grounded in them, like the laws of gravity and inertia, we can defy language occasionally by acts of will and imagination. We must remember to ask ourselves, who is this you? Each second person, singular or plural, is their own first person. When we ask, how are you? We must remember that the you is an I with his or her own concern. When we say, thank you, whom are we thanking? When we say, I'll be with you in a moment, who is the person thinking, great, now I have to wait again? When we yell, fuck you, who is the vulnerable me we are yelling at? Until next time, take care. Have a great time being yourselves, but be aware of what you consider others to be. Affectionately your Dr. Bear. How was that?